Unfortunately,
Evan Hughes, number 84, with a big D there. Lancaster have the disc back.
Really good effort by York.
Now Bleak. Lancaster setting up in what seems to be a weave. Evan with a big grab there. And a nice around shot to Adam. ISO shot that goes just out of bounds.
This goes back to York.
The sideline getting very close there.
York swings it around the court, basically trying to find a more safe option for them so that they can still have the possession of the disc. Gives it to York, but gives it to Eamon. And a blade throw to Hart, who's conveniently in the end zone.
A very long point there. I believe it was York with the break as Lancaster started on 0, so York are up 3 points to 2 in a very, very tightly contested game.
Currently on the York line, we have Ollie Newton, who is also the men's captain, Rebecca Sparks, Anna Williamson, Daisy Cooper, and Rory Devlin. What do you think so far of the game?
Yeah, it's really, really tightly contested, really enjoyable to watch from a neutral, and I'm assuming from both Lancaster and York's point of view. Lancaster are about to get the disc here. DePaul seems to drop fairly short, and Dan picks it up for Lancaster. York in either a very, very poachy match or a zone here, which seems to do well as they manage to get the turn.
York's back on offense, gives a big swing to Daisy and a long shot to the end zone, and Anna catches it, and that's another score to York, and the current score is
4-2 to York.
What a great performance by York there, basically having Anna, who was really, really free in the end zone, which gave Daisy the option to basically huck it down the court, and Anna catches it.
And another women's point coming up. So mixed alternates between having a team of 3 women and 2 men on the line, and then 2 women and 3 men. So currently there is 3 women for each team and 2 men from each team on the pitch. Ben Leake now with the disc for Lancaster. Looks for the swing to Ellie. Ellie gets it. Ellie back to Shauna.
York's pulling off quite a tight zone defense, which essentially, instead of marking one person, they mark a specific zone and try to basically force the Lancaster to throw it into the middle, where the middle blockers were intercepted.
Dan now with a disc. Looks for overtop shot to Ben Leake, who gets it. Bleak across to Ellie King. Ellie back to Bleak. York switch to match here, but Bleak has no one on Bleak. Shot to the end zone. And Dan Bailey nearly crashes into the spectators.
That's quite a usual occurrence in Ultimate Frisbee, where you crash into the spectators. Currently, York's in possession of the disc. An easy swing pass to Chloe, and down the line pass back to Chloe. Unfortunately, didn't really connect with Daisy, who was in the end zone, but there's a really, really good effort by York. Currently, York's back on their tight zone defense. Hopefully, they'll put enough pressure on Lancaster.
Yeah, and Bleak picking up the disc. A deep shot goes over the top, and back to York now.
This possession is back to York. A lot of very easy swing throws, which is quite safe, which is very crucial in.
Foul called. Foul called.
There's been a foul call on court. So the players will basically be discussing about it and coming to a conclusion.
So a foul uncontested there. I think there was just an issue with one of the Lancaster players stopping the York player from getting up the line.
Stall count goes back on 0. Good inside shot to Izzy. Swing it to Raf. Swings it back to Eamon. Quite a lot of gift goes as well, which is quite crucial in the game right now. Raf trying to find a safer option to throw. It seems like Lancaster having a wall defense. However, that wasn't enough, and York manages to score.
Yeah, York take a 3-point lead there, which could be vital, as it is now 5-2 to York. Do you think that reflects the state of the game fairly?
No, I don't think so. I really do feel that the Lancaster team is really putting a good effort trying to stop the offense by York, and I think they have done that quite successfully as well. Just unfortunately is that sometimes York is just happen to be in the right place at the right time, and that's how they score. Currently on the line on York's line we have Hart, Anna, Rebecca, Rory, and Ollie.
Brick has been pulled. York running a zone, or what seems to be a zone, with 2 chasers, 2 mids, and 1 deep. Blake picks up. Reset to Adam. Down the line, but a bit of a miscommunication on Lancaster's part there, and it is a turnover for York.
This goes back to York. Tried to throw it to Anna, but however, her defender just catch up with her. Swings it back to Hart. Unfortunately, there was a miscommunication with the York team as well. But it was a really good effort by them. So York is going back to their tight zone defense. Basically, you have the two offense in the...
Lovely up the line shot from
Lovely
Adam Page there to Ben Leake. Now to Evan on the edge of Lancaster's end zone there. And a really nice block by the York player.
Really good interception by York right there to stop the scoring throw. Oh, unfortunately.
A brilliant layout attempt, I must say.
Really, really good attempt.
Very committed, very nearly grabbed it. Lancaster with a drop, and it's back to York now. They go fast, give and goes. And it's caught, but not in... Is it in the end zone? It is in the end zone.
So that's 6-2 to York.
Yeah.
Really good effort by York.
Yeah, they really took advantage of the turnover, getting the disc moving quickly. Lancaster were not ready for that sort of pace.
Lancaster put quite a lot of pressure as well, especially on York's zone defense. Having basically, Lancaster was having quite easy throws down the court as well, putting a lot of pressure on the two chase of the York zone defense.
So it is a men's line now with 3 men, for Lancaster being Dan, Adam and Charlie, and the 2 women being Shauna and Anya, for an 0 point now again for Lancaster. Disc taken by Adam, swings it to Brayshaw. Brayshaw back to Adam. Nice open side shot to Dan. Who finds a really nice shot to Shauna. Charlie now edge of the end zone.
Miscommunication there by Lancaster. This goes back to York. Swings it to Chloe. This goes to Izzy. Long shot, and that's a score by Ollie Newton. And that is 7-2 to York. What a lovely score that was. Basically jumping right into the end zone.
Yeah, York's pace after the turnover has been exceptional so far, and Lancaster are really struggling to deal with it.
Currently on the York line, we have Oliver Hart, Rebecca Sparks, Daisy Cooper, Alan Williamson, and Rory Devlin.
For anyone just joining us on Roses Live, URY, or Bailrook FM, hello, you are listening or either watching Rose's mixed game. It is currently 7-2 to York as, Bleak puts up a really nice hammer for Lancaster, which Evan just couldn't catch in the end zone.
That was a lovely catch, nonetheless. This goes back to York, swings it to Daisy. Daisy tries to do the underline shot, didn't work out. Swings it to Hart. Swings it down to Rory. Unfortunately, that hammer throw just didn't connect with
Yeah, the hammer was
Anna.
slightly overcooked and Lancaster have a chance again to hold.
It's a really good option offered by York.
Hello, Elijah. How are you? Are you what's
Carly.
the score? I've just arrived.
It is currently 7-2 to Lancaster. That was Sam there, a very important player for Lancaster who's sadly been a bit ill and will be featuring tomorrow in the outdoor open game though. Lancaster currently with the disc, Bleak on the disc, swings it to Evan. A big knifey shot caught by Anya in the end zone. 7-3 and spikes it ferociously on the ground.
What a lovely blade throw that was. And given the fact that blade throws are really risky because they're quite hard to catch, that was a lovely attempt by Lancaster, and it paid off.
I think that makes it 7-3.
Yeah, 7-3, yeah.
So Lancaster will have a D point now and look to break. Do you want to run us through the O-line for this York point, Nick?
Yeah, so on the York line, we have Eamon, we have Chloe, Daisy, Izzy, and Raphael, which this goes back to Raphael, swings it option, gives it to Eamon, swings it to Daisy. Chloe, who just so happy to be right there, catches the disc, swings it to Raph. Raph trying to look for options, trying to cut through the court. However, that overhead just didn't connect well.
Yeah, Scuba didn't connect, so Lancaster have a chance to get a break now and bring the score within 3. Bleak is picking up the disc, and it looks like it is a diamond on Dan, so they are trying to isolate him in the end zone. Dan grabs it. Anya now back to Dan for the reset. Hammer to the end zone. That just goes over the top. There has been a foul called in the end zone.
For anyone who's not familiar with Ultimate Frisbee is a sport where basically calls are being made by the players itself and they get to discuss and come to a conclusion to it, and it's also a non-referee sport.
It has been contested, so it goes back to the thrower.
York's tight defense is putting quite a lot of pressure on the Lancaster team.
For anyone that is unaware, Frisbee is a non-contact sport, so when both going for the disc, there is no contact allowed.
York's pulling off a really tight match defense, trying to cut the disc, trying to intercept the disc at any chance possible.
Shauna on the disc now for Lancaster. Looks for the upline shot, it's not there, looks for the reset, but
And
it is
unfortunately, the disc
blocked
been
by
intercepted
York.
by Eamon from York. Really, really good game awareness and spatial awareness by Eamon.
Lancaster coming out in a 3-2 war, which is a bit more aggressive than the 4-1 wall, looking for a turnover as they're currently losing.
York trying to keep it safe by trying to swing it and trying to look for the easy options. Currently, we have Eamon who is being isolated into the end zone.
York very, very patiently attacking this wall here. There is no need for them to rush as they are currently winning.
Izzy with the swings. A little bit of the gift goes there. York's really taking their time, and it pays off.
And the cross shot, which makes it 8-3 to York, who have been very, very clinical, taking their chances close to the end zone when they get them.
Raphael kind of did a little cheeky. Basically, what he likes to do is basically just stand in the end zone and just hope everyone just doesn't notice him that he's there, and that's kind of what happened in the recent score.
For anyone just joining us from Albelrig FM, you are Wild Roses Live. We are currently watching the indoor mixed game, and it is currently 8-3 to York.
York's coming up with zone defense, trying to force this into the middle, where the middle people are trying to intercept it.
Oh, and a drop for Lancaster there. I mean, York get the turn, and Lancaster need to try and get the disc back.
Ollie with the disc, tries to swing it to Hart, but the defender just catch up. So swings it to Anna, swings it to Rebecca, swings it back to Ollie. Down the line shot to Hart. Trying to find the under options. Swings it to Hart. Swings it back to Ollie. And back to Hart again with Anna, who's isolated in the zone. Unfortunately, Anna just couldn't get that disc in time.
Yeah, you can start to see the fatigue setting in now with some of these throws. Just not being 100%. I mean, they're still brilliant throws most of the time, but some of them just an inch or two away from someone's hands. Bleak on the disc now, goes deep, and it is defended by York.
This goes back to York. Ollie swings it down to Rebecca. Try to find the downline option, which she does, and Hart scores.
Making the score 9-3 to York.
Really good movement there by York.
That is game, I believe.
And that is game. And York takes the second Frisbee game of the day. Wow, that was quite an intense match.
Yeah, 9-3, which maybe perhaps doesn't properly reflect the state of the game. York were probably a bit more clinical than Lancaster, but Lancaster were definitely a worthy competitor to York's pretty brilliant mixed team.
Exactly. We have the indoor opens match coming up. I believe it's half past? Yep, I believe it's half past, so stay tuned for that. We'll get to see